Fabrizio Romano drops a bombshell this morning revealing he expects a surprise move from Arsenal for the £60 million target, and Mikel Arteta states that Arsenal is grappling with some doubts about injuries ahead of the clash with Man United. Stay with me until the end of the video to understand everything that's happening behind the scenes at the Emirates Stadium. But before that, if you're as passionate about Arsenal as we are, don't waste any time and subscribe to our channel right now to stay updated on everything happening with the greatest team in the Premier League. And without further ado, let's dive into today's top news. Arsenal are likely to be busy in the summer transfer window as Edu and Mikel Arteta look to bolster their ranks further. The Gunners have gone from strength to strength since Arteta took the reins in 2019, going from an upper mid-table side to a Premier League title challenger. However, Arsenal aren't the finished product yet, and there could well be incomings and outgoings over the coming months. For instance, the Gunners' midfield could do with some additions amid uncertain futures for the likes of Thomas Partey and Sambi Lokonga. Now, Fabrizio Romano has urged fans to keep an eye out on speculation involving a midfielder said to have been on Arsenal's radar for a while. The player in question is Fulham's Joao Palhinha, who has made a name for himself as one of the best Premier League midfielders outside the top six. Back in March, Dean Jones told Give Me Sport, Palhinha has been talked about in terms of Arsenal and Liverpool. I think he would do a tremendous job in either of those teams. At the right price, he is gettable. With that being the case, I feel like he could be one of the best signings anyone could make this summer. What has Fabrizio Romano said about Arsenal target Joao Palhinha? Romano told Caught Offside, there was a lot written about Joao Palhinha last summer as he came close to leaving Fulham, with a move to Bayern collapsing late on. It's gone quiet in recent weeks and months, and while nothing is happening now, I expect movement on this saga again soon. I expect Palhinha to be one to watch, so let's see who is going to be the next Bayern manager, as this could be important to understand if they will return for Palhinha or not. Palhinha, who is said to be rated at £60 million, would be a solid addition to the Arsenal ranks. He's a talented, tenacious and hard-working player with extensive Premier League experience. Admittedly, the Gunners would be up against stiff competition in Bayern if they get involved again. At the same time, Arsenal have to think about the player's future resale value, as he's 29 this summer, and whether he'd be worth a £60 million outlay. Arsenal weigh up rivaling Chelsea for the transfer of Everton goalkeeper Jordan Pickford. Mikel Arteta is now weighing up a transfer for a Chelsea target who Arsene Wenger wanted Arsenal to sign in 2017 amid early doubts over the future of a Gunners star. The North London natives have recorded another strong season as they challenge to win the Premier League title. Arteta also took Arsenal to the quarter-finals of the Champions League for the first time since 2010. But the Spaniard still sees scope to further strengthen his team. Arsenal already have the best offense and defense in the Premier League this term with 88 goals scored to 28 conceded. Yet the Emirates Stadium outfit are relying on favours to deny Manchester City another crown as Arsenal prepare to face Manchester United and Everton. And one Everton player may yet end up at Arsenal next season as Arteta is now weighing up a transfer for Jordan Pickford. That is according to Team Talk, which reports that the Gunners are considering rivaling Chelsea to sign the goalkeeper as the Toffees might have to sell him. Everton will likely have to consider bids for the 30-year-old as they try to balance their books after breaching the Premier League's profit and sustainability rules, PSR, twice. So, Arsenal are considering making a bid that would deny Chelsea a leading target to be their new No. 1. Chelsea have been leading the race for Pickford as they seek an upgrade for Robert Sanchez and Dord Petrovic. But Arsenal could now scupper their plans as it is not certain that Arteta will use the Gunners' £27 million option to buy David Raya at the end of his loan from Brentford. Raya moved to North London in August and replaced Aaron Ramsdale as Arsenal's No. 1 after the September international break. The 28-year-old has since started all 30 Premier League fixtures available to him and has already won the Golden Glove Award with 15 clean sheets. Pickford has kept 12 clean sheets during his 36 Premier League appearances as Everton bid to avoid relegation for a third successive season. Arsenal also admire Pickford's ability on the ball and his passing range, which could now see Arteta rival Chelsea for his summer transfer. Arsenal could sell one of Fabio Vieira or Emil Smith-Rowe this summer. Arsenal do have two very talented attacking midfielders in Fabio Vieira and Emil Smith-Rowe, but the pair have hardly featured in the last two seasons. Vieira has made just 5 Premier League starts since his big-money arrival from Porto, and the decision to bring him in looks particularly questionable given that his former midfield partner Vitinha is now thriving in the Champions League. Smith Rowe was a prodigal talent at Arsenal and is still one of the most popular players in the squad, but he has hardly featured after a series of injuries disrupted his fitness and form. Even when fit and available in recent months, Smith Rowe has been overlooked by Arteta, and it perhaps makes more sense to sell him this summer. Arsenal may sell Emil Smith Rowe instead of Fabio Vieira. In terms of profit and sustainability rules, selling Smith Rowe, a homegrown talent for a potentially big fee, would generate pure profit in accounting which can then be reinvested. This is not the case for Vieira as a £34 million signing, meaning that Smith Rowe departing would be more beneficial. Smith Rowe's injuries have affected him badly, and perhaps a fresh start elsewhere could help him revive his career. This is not the case for Vieira, who was beginning to showcase his talent at the start of the season before a long-term injury, and he recently impressed off the bench in a win over Chelsea. Fans may be frustrated that a homegrown talent like Smith Rowe could be sold to prioritize an expensive signing from abroad, but Vieira perhaps has more potential to be a key player under Arteta, whilst Smith Rowe would boost the finances significantly more. Arteta claims Arsenal are suffering from a few injury doubts ahead of Man United clash. Arsenal are set to face Manchester United in a crucial Premier League clash at Old Trafford, but there are now some injury concerns. The Gunners were enjoying having an entirely fit squad for the first time since 2019 following the return of Jurriën Timber, but they may now be without some key players yet again. Takahiro Tomiyasu missed a training session earlier this week, whilst there have been constant questions over the fitness of Bukayo Saka after some heavy challenges, including a reckless one from Bournemouth midfielder Ryan Christie in the last game. It now appears that Arsenal are sweating over the fitness of both players, who otherwise look set to be included in what is now a settled starting lineup heading into the game at Old Trafford, where Arsenal have seldom won in recent years. Bukayo Saka and Takahiro Tomiyasu are now doubts for Arsenal trip to Man United. Speaking in his pre-match press conference, Arteta revealed that Arsenal were suffering from injury doubts, and hinted that Saka and Tomiyasu are the players of concern. A few doubts that tomorrow we can resolve with another training session, so we'll have to see, he stated. A few doubts over Tommy and Saka, yes. Although Arsenal are in much better form than their upcoming opponents, they will still want their key players fit for what is a must-win game in the title race. Tomiyasu has slotted in well at left-back, and given that Timber is still yet to feature at senior level since returning from injury, and Alexander Zinchenko and Jakub Kiwior have both suffered from dips in form recently, Arteta will be eager to have the Japan international available. Saka is Arsenal's leading attacker this season in terms of goals and assists, and Arteta will be desperate to have him available at the ground where he scored last season, and also scored a hat-trick for the England national team. If he is unavailable, Gabriel Jesus looks to be the main candidate to replace him on the right wing, with the Brazilian featuring more in wide positions in recent weeks. Well folks, those were the main news for today. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated on everything happening with our beloved team, you know what to do. Subscribe to the channel now and hit the bell icon so you don't miss any updates. Thanks for joining us, and until the next video.